Welcome to
3Ps in a Podcast.
Volume 8. It has been too long. Here we are. It's been 3 weeks because we had state basketball tournament, then spring break, and then last week was just super busy getting back into the swing of things. So we're finally back. I know all 75 of our listeners have been waiting.
Yeah. Your mom has been waiting for another episode.
Yes.
Shout out to Gina, our biggest fan.
For sure, we've been waiting for a while. But we're gonna kick it right off. Allie's gonna kick it right off for us.
Heck yeah, and we're going to try to cut this down a little bit, maybe 15 minutes, just so this is easier to listen to. But if
because you can't listen to me talk for 30 minutes.
Yeah, no offense, but yeah. Anyway, so if you are living under a rock and didn't already know, gotcha's going on where all the seniors shoot each other with water guns, try to get out their people, and it's intense and it's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
It's especially funny when you know the seniors and like I'm a little private investigator, like not to rat myself out, but I know who people have and I help them.
Mm-hmm.
I've lied to get information. Do I regret it? Absolutely not.
That's hilarious.
And like, for example, a funny story. This morning we had 6:15 a.m. cheer practice, and Hannah Carter texts in the group chat and says, "Hey guys, I'm gonna be late. I'm currently like cornered by my gotcha person, and I'm stuck in my house." So I text back, "May the odds be ever in your favor." She ended up getting into her car. She made it out. Her mom helped her, and then her person that was trying to get her out got out this morning. So now I think she's safe.
That's hilarious.
But I think that's quite funny. Yeah, so we'll see.
Shout out to Jake Potoff's long legs for finally catching the lot after a whole 4-block chase.
Oh, yeah.
That's so extra.
It was so funny. He was like, I ran a whole 4 blocks.
Yep. I don't think there's very many newspaper seniors playing, but Malad did get out, R.I.P. But
Avery obviously can't participate.
Yeah. Our editor-in-chief had knee surgery, so she cannot participate. She's doing well.
Is Maya in it?
No. Maya's not. Megan is not giving out any information about my homie Megan. But if you'd like to hire a private investigator, I will sell my services. I will find out some
$5 an hour.
Yeah, exactly. I don't charge much, but anyway. Moving on, less school-related topics, but still, everyone's pumped. Billie Eilish is dropping her new album on Friday.
Who's everyone?
Me, my homies,
the
rest of the world. Okay, even if you say, I don't think I'm going to like it, you all know you're going to listen to it, and you're probably going to like one of the songs.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. What was her first one? Her first, big hit song. No.
Her first big hit song, Ocean Eyes?
No, it was
Bellyache?
I'm thinking Oh, You Should See Me in a Crown.
Oh,
okay, so I heard that one all the time on the radio, and I was like, all right,
I've never heard
it's a good song.
Really?
She kind of reminded me of K-Flay, if any of you know who that is.
Nope.
Not at all.
But anyway, so yeah, I heard her, and I was like, all right, that's interesting, whatever, and I kind of just wrote her off, and everyone was, talking about all these other songs, and when people were, freaking out about Bury a Friend, I was like, oh, it's probably not that good, and I never listened to it.
Really?
I never listened to it until, this past weekend, because I heard it on the radio, and I was like, whoa, that actually is kind of weird. It's just different. It's something that no one's ever done before. And that edgy, creepy music, and I was kind of like, whoa.
When they say you really need to find your own lane, she did a really good job at that.
Oh yeah.
Nobody else has music like her.
And I feel like all of her songs are very different from each other. Her and her brother Phineas write them.
Yeah.
He also has songs. He has a song called Claudia about his girlfriend, YouTuber Claudia Saluski. It's a really cute little song. And they're both so creative and smart, and they were raised in such a creative household. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. But anyway, she's dropping her new album. I assume it's going to be kind of creepy, like Bury a Friend. It's called When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go?
Oh, did you hear about her new? Did you listen to her new single that came out
Wish You Were Gay?
Yeah, Wish You Were Gay. I feel like that kind of gave off a different vibe, but I agree. I'd be interested to see if it's more like Bury a Friend or more like her earlier stuff. Yeah.
We'll see. I'm excited. All right, the Avengers movie's coming out. Nichole,
yes,
take it away.
I'm so excited. The last movie at the end, spoiler alert, almost all of them die. At least half of the Avengers die.
Wait, is this the Civil War one?
Yeah, no. This was I don't remember what it's called.
Come on.
I'll Google it.
Come on,
so I have-
Avengers person.
Okay. So anyway, this new one that's coming out. So the Captain Marvel movie just came out, right?
Right.
So she's gonna be in it, and she like leads the Avengers to go.
Who's she?
Captain Marvel
Okay.
leads the team to go like save everybody. Okay, I'm not finding it, but yeah. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Hopefully they all come back to life because Spider-Man dies, and like I think Iron Man dies. A lot of them die.
Yeah.
They just dissolve.
I'm not a huge Marvel or Avengers person
Ugh,
or
Me neither.
any of it,
I couldn't
but
care
like,
less.
but
It's so good. Oh my god.
but I remember like hearing this big uproar after whichever one you're talking about when like everyone died and everyone was like freaking out and I was like, what's going
pissed.
on?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I totally know what you're talking about when like everyone was freaking out because everyone died in one of the movies.
Yeah. I could not believe Marvel did that, especially since a lot of their audience is children, and they just go ahead and kill all their characters.
Right, all their favorite characters.
Yeah, lovely night of sleep for those kids.
Almost as good as after you
Wow.
listen to Billie Eilish for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, Ansley, our copy editor, is scared of Billie Eilish because
really?
Ansley doesn't like spiders. So when she saw the "You Should
Oh.
See Me in a Crown" music video, it like she
With
was
the
like,
spider on her
"What's
face.
going on?" And the Bury a Friend music. Oh God, back to Billie Eilish. But,
I haven't seen the music videos.
oh, it's good. It's
Is it
creepy,
good? It's
but it's
creepy
good.
good. That's
It's
awesome.
okay.
I think it's good.
Okay, but it's in a whole new realm of like music videos too.
Oh, absolutely.
That's true. Well, but again, like we're talking about like finding your own like, lane, I guess.
Yeah.
And just like doing everything different in your own way. I mean, especially with ever changing. Like there's so much music out there, like you don't even realize like how many people
Oh,
like
no.
kind of copycat and do the same thing, but it's like the second someone does something different,
Yeah.
like very different, then you like it becomes very evident.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, another movie coming out is the Unplanned movie, which is controversial.
What is that?
It's about Abby Johnson. I think it's based on a true story. She was a previous Planned Parenthood clinic director, and she's going through. She helps people with like abortions and whatnot. She doesn't see anything wrong with it. She's helping women, whatever. And then she finally like sees an abortion happen, or like it's some like special circumstance where it's like extra
Mhm.
unfortunate. And she's like, oh my God, what have I done? I've helped with like almost like I think 22,000 abortions.
Mhm.
And she's suddenly regretting everything she's done. So she like makes the choice from like very like pro Planned Parenthood to I
Mhm.
think like pro life. Like, what have I done? This is awful. And I think she turns against Planned Parenthood. I don't know. It's coming out. I'm going to see it on Thursday
Mhm.
with my friend and her church.
Oh boy.
But I'm
Love
actually really
that.
excited. I think it's going to be good. And there's not a lot out. I don't think I've ever heard of any movies quite like this.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be interesting. Controversial for sure, but it'll be good. Maybe I'll do a review of it on the web. Speaking of the web, got a lot of news stories out there
Oh,
popping.
for sure. We are
Go check
we
it
are
out.
blowing
SU
it
South
up.
News. Go check it out. Read up.
Kind
On
of
your
fun, kind of
stories.
fresh.
Read
Yeah,
up,
exactly.
listen up, watch up.
Yeah.
I mean, we got all the media
yeah.
going.
Oh, absolutely. And our issue came out last week. Really good. We're working on our next issue.
Mhm.
And in that, we're, spoiler alert, going to have a debate over the Green New Deal. And
Yeah.
if you don't know what that is Democrat Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, her environmental deal that she proposed, and it is, in my opinion, quite radical, highly unlikely that it would be good, I guess. Of course, we should help the environment. I am not advocating against that in any way, shape, or form. But the way she wants to do it would like reestablish, redefine the economy in 10 years.
Mm.
Which in no way could that really go superb. But they actually voted, I believe, in I think in the Senate. I don't know. They voted on it yesterday,
Mhm.
and it failed, obviously. But the funny thing is, all these people running for the Democrat primary for the presidential election coming up in 2020 supported Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and said they would vote for it. And from what I've read, they did not. They voted no on it. They voted present. at the time of the voting and then didn't help pass it, even though they said they were going to vote for it and support it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if that says more about AOC, the deal, those Democrat candidates, or the Democratic Party. Not to call anyone out, but, you know, they said they were going to do something and didn't, and it would have, in a way, benefited their party. Just think it's ironic. Enough politics. Let's talk about basketball. Evan, March Madness, Sweet 16's coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, Sweet
Hit us with
16.
it.
Sweet 16 starts tomorrow. Our matchups left. We got so I read the stat before picking my bracket this tournament and whatnot. That the 1, 2, 3, and 4 seed all making the Sweet 16 like in their respective bracket has only happened 18% of the time since the tournament has begun. Which is like a crazy stat to think about because like the 1, 2, 3, and 4 they're supposed to be the best teams, and with them not making it to the Sweet 16 whatever that would be 82% of the time, that's a crazy thing to think about. So of course I would pick like 1, 2, 3 and then like a 5 or something like that. I'd change it up a little bit, and it didn't actually work out so well this year. In two of the brackets, 1, 2, 3, and 4 all moved on to the Sweet 16. And then in the Midwest bracket, 1, 2, 3, and 5 moved on. So not that many Cinderellas this year. Cinderellas we say, which is the double-digit seed making the Sweet 16. Recently we've had 2 or 3 of those every year, and this year we only had one. We had Oregon in the the South region made it. But yeah, so the South region, that's gonna be Virginia and Oregon. Going at it in the Sweet 16, Purdue and Tennessee on the bottom half of that bracket. And then the East region, we got Duke and Virginia Tech, which should be a good game. I'm interested to see how Duke responds after their scare on Sunday when they played UCF.
And a lot of people have Duke winning it all.
For sure.
So.
And something you need to keep in mind is Duke and Virginia Tech have already played once this year, and Virginia Tech won that game. Ooh. Granted, it was at Virginia Tech's home arena. They have a great home court advantage. This one, neutral site, should be interesting, though. I'm excited to see how Duke responds because a lot of times you'll see either teams crumble after a close game like that or they come out firing. Especially a team with Duke's talent. Right. They might come out and just blow the doors off Virginia Tech and run all the way to the national championship. We'll have to see. And then on the bottom half of that bracket is LSU and Michigan State. Should be an interesting game. LSU's made it a lot farther than I think a lot of people thought they were because their coach took a leave of absence just about a month ago, and then there was some sort of investigation with the school. I don't know a whole lot about it, so I'm not going to speak on it. But there was an investigation with the coach, and he wasn't allowed to coach when he wanted to come back. So now they have an interim head coach, so just a lot of off-court distractions that would sometimes lead to a not-so-stellar performance. But they've played fairly well so far throughout the tournament. So they're taking on Michigan State. Michigan State looks pretty solid this year, though, so we'll have to see how that one goes. In the West, in the bottom half, we've got Gonzaga and Florida State. Again, should be a good game. Gonzaga is always that team that people don't know a lot, like how to pick because they're coming from the West Coast. They don't play a lot of super good teams during the year, but they're usually pretty good. So I'll be interested to see how they match up against a pretty solid ACC team. And then we got Texas Tech and Michigan. I think that's going to be the game of the Sweet 16. Texas Tech's higher-powered offense and solid defense coming out of the Big 12. They've looked solid all tournament, no issues whatsoever. And Michigan has really looked solid against every team except for Michigan State. For some reason, they couldn't beat Michigan State in any of their 3 appearances against them this year.
Oh.
But beside that, Michigan's looked really good this year. So I'll be interested to see there. And then the last bracket is North Carolina and Auburn. Kind of expecting North Carolina to absolutely destroy Auburn unless Auburn comes out and shoots the 3 like they did against Kansas.
Oh, jeez.
I'd be interested to see how that goes. But those games are in Kansas City, that one, and then the Houston-Kentucky game. That's the Midwest Regional here in Kansas City. Houston-Kentucky should be a good game as well. But, again, it's just like those smaller conference teams like Houston and Gonzaga. They're coming from smaller conferences. You don't really know what to expect out of them coming into the tournament. But I'll be excited to see. It should be a good finish to the tournament. We get a lot of high seeds and a lot of high-powered teams that didn't lose early, which happens a lot of years. Last year we had a 12 seed and a 7 seed. And then a 2 and a 1 seed in the Final Four. And it was like the weirdest thing ever. Like everyone was super, didn't really know what was going to happen. It was just teams that were playing really well, which is great, but it wasn't necessarily like star power. But we've got plenty of star power this year. It should be a good finish all the way down to the end. And I'm super excited for it.
Awesome. Well, on that note, we just hit 15 minutes.
That was perfect.
Really cutting it short, but leave us some feedback. We want to start bringing guests on, so if you are an interesting person or know someone who's an interesting person, let us know. We'd love to have you on the pod. But,
for sure. Yeah. That'll wrap things up for us this week. And then we'll get back on track with weekly posting, hopefully throughout the end of the school year.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for listening, guys. We're gonna head out, and we'll be excited to see you all next week.
Heck yeah.